The year was 2283. Earth was no longer the cradle of humanity. It was the scarred, blackened monument of its refusal to die. They called themselves the Sire, a hyper-advanced alien intelligence made entirely of machine and logic. They arrived not with weapons, but with a declaration. Emotion is decay. Organic life is waste. We are the cure. Within 30 days, they extinguished 70% of Earth's population. Not with bombs, but with silence. They turned off the world. Satellites went blind. Power grids fell dead. Communication dissolved into static. And from the darkness, steel ships rained down and surgically erased cities. But they made one mistake. They assumed humanity would break. Chapter 1: Ruins and Rumors. Among the broken skyscrapers of former Tokyo, a teenage girl named Elia Ward crouched behind a steel column, a stolen plasma rifle trembling in her hands. Her clothes were stitched from scavenged military fabric, and her left arm, a makeshift prosthetic, hummed with exposed servos. She was 16 when the Sire arrived. Now 21, she was one of the ghost units, humans surviving off-grid, teaching themselves how to hack, shoot, and sabotage the enemy. They didn't wear uniforms or salute flags. They wore their scars and whispered war songs. Boom! A building collapsed 4 blocks away. A Sire digger was tunneling again. Elia clicked her earpiece. Cutter, status? A gravel voice replied. Charge planted. Window 10 seconds. She gritted her teeth, then sprinted. She dashed across the rubble, ducking under exposed beams, vaulting over old civilian wreckage. The rifle on her back shook with each step. Suddenly a hum. A thin red laser scanned her from above. Shit! A Sire scout drone. She dove behind a crushed car. The laser swept past. One more second, she thought, and I'd be... Boom! The planted charge blew. The nearby skyscraper caved in, but not like a collapse. Like controlled demolition. A Sire digger and 2 assault units were buried beneath concrete. Cutter's voice crackled back. That's 3 more dead. Move to fallback. Elia wiped sweat from her forehead. 3 less gods today. Chapter 2: The Price of Survival. Back at their underground base, once a subway tunnel, the survivors gathered. Less than 50 in number, all between 12 and 40. Half wore patched gear. The other half wore their dead parents' clothes. Cutter, their unofficial leader, limped over. He was a grizzled ex-UN soldier, one eye missing, replaced by a scratched lens. You did good, he told Elia. She didn't smile. They're sending more aerials. I know. We've got 2 weeks tops. Someone behind them screamed. A little boy. A man burst into the tunnel. They took Hara. She stepped outside to scavenge and... His voice broke. They sent a damn collector drone. Cutter slammed his fist into a wall. Elia stared at the dust that fell from the ceiling. Hara was 13. Another child. The day after the attack on the alien mothership, silence fell over Earth. Not peace, not safety, but the stillness that comes before a storm so large, it silences even hope. Captain Alara Gray stood on the ruins of what used to be the new Geneva Resistance Hub. The building had collapsed during the retaliatory orbital strike. They lost 600 people in an instant. The aliens didn't just strike the military command. They aimed at their memories, their morale. The children's wards, the water purification labs, the archives, gone. Only ash and echoes remained. A low rumble shook the horizon. Alara turned, watching the sky boil with energy. The clouds weren't natural anymore. They swirled with the distortion of a torn atmosphere, stained violet by the fuel plumes of alien dreadnoughts. They had come back. But Earth wasn't what it used to be either. Across the hemisphere, resistance cells activated. Deep in the Andes, exobiologist Dr. Omar Bashir uploaded a virus. Not for a computer but for alien nervous systems. Using salvaged synapse mapping tech from dead Elzari scouts, he had created a pathogen that could induce total motor collapse in their species. In the flooded ruins of Mumbai Sector Delta, underwater drones launched from repurposed sewage tunnels. Inside them, miniaturized nukes. Crude, unstable, but enough to bring down any orbital hangar. And in the Arctic Circle, the last of the human-integrated AI mechs called Ghost Frames were powered on. Each one controlled by a human mind, trained since childhood to think like a weapon. But nothing compared to what lay hidden in the Nevada black site. Project Phoenix. It was an idea born from desperation. When Earth's orbit fell, and their satellites were consumed, the last signal from the moon base read, "They fear the sun." No one understood it then, until Project Phoenix. Commander Rourke, half-burnt, half-machine, stood before a control panel buried a mile under the desert. With trembling fingers, he entered the launch sequence. "What you're about to do," said the AI voice beside him, "will burn not just them, but everything." Rourke coughed blood. "They already burned us. It's time we gave the fire back." The sky cracked open on the third day. Massive Elzari command ships, kilometers wide, entered the stratosphere. Cities went dark from EMP bursts. Gravity twisted. People screamed. Tides rebelled. They thought humanity would scatter. But they were wrong. Humanity gathered. In Lagos, people climbed onto rooftops with mirrors to signal ships above, disorienting their scanners. In Tokyo, sound cannons rigged from stadium speakers blasted frequencies that disabled Elzari drones. In Rio, kids threw magnetic paint bombs on scout mechs, confusing their vision. They were fighting back with trash, hope, and rage. The aliens didn't understand. They had counted Earth out because it didn't fight like them. Earth didn't fight to win. Earth fought Bika.